Hello everyone, welcome back to Enter the Underground. As always, I'm Daniel, and today we're reviewing the album Permanent Ink by Boldy James. If you're into music discourse, reviews, and creative projects like my B-side series, consider subscribing and liking the video, as it would mean a lot to grow a community where we can share and uplift some of these underground albums and artists. Now, I've been a really big fan of Boldy James the past couple years, ever since his 2022 album Super Techno Bow with The Alchemist. And he has worked with a lot of very well-known and credited producers like Nicholas Craven, like I said, The Alchemist, Harry Fraud, and Conductor Williams even last year. So I came into reviewing this and also the first listen with pretty high expectations, specifically for his beat selection and his literary style. In terms of channel success, Boldy James earned the 5th and 1st best underground albums last year. That was Across the Tracks with Conductor Williams, and also my favorite album last year, Penalty of Leadership with Nicholas Craven. So with all that in mind, let's get into the review. For the first part of this review, let's start with the production side. Starting with the production, out of the 13 tracks on the album, songs 3 through 5 really stood out to me, and I felt that they were the most reflective of the production on the entire album. Track 3, Chili Mo. This one used a vocal sample and piano sample over crashy, super high EQ kind of drums. While they were really interesting at first, the loop quickly became repetitive, and unfortunately for Boldy James, his lyrical or vocal performance didn't really do enough to hold my interest at all within the next couple listens. Track 4, Don Mega. It builds on the previous song's sample style, adding melodic piano and counter melodies, and the drums also tie in well, far more to the beat than the previous one, which just didn't really feel like it didn't help when thinking about the loop. And Don Mega is definitely one of the more stronger beats from the entire record as a whole. Track 5, Jacksonville. This track features choir vocals with brass and strings, which could have been more powerful, but the drums feel mismatched and drag the production down. I remember thinking about it on the first couple listens that it could have been better if it was drumless, the entire Jacksonville in particular, and you would have to work on the loop a lot more, but I don't know if the producer would have been able to accomplish that. Overall, the beats lack variety. Many tracks follow a similar formula: repetitive drum patterns, a vocal sample, and a minimal secondary loop. It's hard to tell if this was a production oversight or Boldy's intended direction on the album, so I'll revisit this point in my final thoughts. The second part of this review follows the lyricism, flows, performance, and literary style. So lyrically, if you're into gangster rap, this album trends familiar ground, but that's part of the problem. There's a noticeable lack of standout lines, themes, or memorable moments. 2 tracks really encapsulates the overall issue, at least for me. Track 2, titled Ghetto. The chorus-heavy track repeats the word ghetto excessively, with uninspired lyrics and unremarkable beat. It lacks depth or emotional resonance whatsoever. Track 6, titled Single File Line. This track focuses almost entirely on materialism, nails, designer bags, cars, and homes. It feels shallow and repetitive, just like the first one. After listening, I often found myself forgetting what I just heard, which was very disappointing, especially compared to Boldy's previous work. Permanent Ink is one of just 6 projects Boldy James has released this year. And once again, it has reinforced a thought that I had once had last year. Boldy's work heavily depends on the producer behind him. His strongest material came alongside Conductor Williams and Nicholas Craven last year, and before that it was The Alchemist. Unfortunately, the album does not meet the standard. While the lyrics and flows are underwhelming, the biggest shortcoming is the production. The production feels generic and ill-fitting. None of the songs exceed 3 minutes, so they don't overstay their welcome. But the whole project feels more like a contract filler or obligation, other than a genuine artistic effort. In conclusion, the final score, I gave the production a 4 out of 10. I gave the lyrics and performance a 5 out of 10. And the ETU score of 9 out of 20, or 45% of failing grade. Up next, I'll be reviewing Pinball 2 by Mike as it released today. Fingers crossed it's a good one. I have heard the 2 lead singles, like I said in my last B-sides video, and I wasn't really intrigued whatsoever, but hopefully I can go in with an open mind and you know, hopefully I like it. You know, I'm trying to build a space that uplifts and underappreciated projects, and unfortunately, Permanent Ink just isn't one of them. I really don't want to review bad albums like this, even for Danielson's last project that I reviewed here. And it wasn't great, and I didn't really feel like making the review, but I just wanted to get it out. So I felt like I had something to say about it, and just hoping going forward, I do want to review more good albums. So if you do have a recommendation, if you have an album or an artist actually that you doesn't get, you think that doesn't get enough recognition and you want to share, it would be really appreciated if you put them down in the comments below. And if you have made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Your support truly means a lot. I'll be trying to upload more frequently, trying to get daily uploads like I said in my last B-sides video, but you know, I'm gonna play it by ear. We'll see what happens. And yeah, that's gonna be it for me. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.